process of egg donation will involve a lot of medical and psychological testing. Throughout these tests, it's important to prepare yourself to learn some information that you may or may not have previously known or that could be upsetting to you. In the US, gamete businesses are not legally required to keep track of live births from donations, any information about donor-conceived people produced from your donation, or the recipient families. Gamete businesses also are not legally required to relay updated information between the recipients and the donor. Some businesses may choose to do this on their own, but they're not legally required to at the time of this recording.
It could be time consuming. It could be a lot of waiting, not knowing what would happen next.
When you go daily to get your blood taken, you also have an internal ultrasound. And I think it was the first time that I really realized how invasive this process was as someone donating with a uterus. They're going to not just take my blood. I'm going to the gynecologist every day. I'm seeing a different gynecologist every day. It is whoever is available to do your internal ultrasound. So you have to get very comfortable very quickly with these people.
When I became a donor for the first time and they told me I had to take shots, the injections, you have to take daily injections for about 12 days or whatever, 12 to 14 days. And I had to give myself this shot. I had so much anxiety. It was like, I literally was shaking because I'm like, oh my God, I have to give myself a shot. I mean, I had so much anxiety. Could I have quit at that point because I felt uncomfortable and I just couldn't handle it? Yeah. But I also decided that I wanted to do this for somebody and took on the responsibility of wanting to do this for somebody. And I went through it. And when I got to the other side, I was like, oh, that wasn't actually that bad.
Not all marketing campaigns for egg donation adequately represent the reality of the experience. Ads displaying flashy material rewards and describing egg donation as a sort of side hustle often obscure the long-term implications of egg donation, as well as what egg donation could mean for you in your life. Some people tend to think of egg donation as similar to blood donation or organ donation or donating other bodily tissue. This isn't entirely accurate because with egg donation, it usually leads to the existence of an entirely new human being, someone with their own internal experiences, their own thoughts and opinions about egg donation.
One of the biggest misconceptions about egg donation is that it's an easy process and easy money, when it's actually really emotionally, physically, and mentally involved.
It's for the money, and it's an easy process. When I told my coworkers about it, that was the main questions that they asked. And I don't blame them because they do not know anything about the egg donation. But I think that is a big misconception.
Is that this is a one-time transaction and that they're not going to be contacted down the line by the recipient family or the child. Any donor should expect to be contacted down the line.
Being a kidney donor and being an egg donor, obviously as an egg donor, I am giving my eggs to bringing another life into the world or several lives. Being a kidney donor, I am giving a kidney to one individual person. For that person who is receiving of that kidney, that could be their new life. Personally, I do feel obviously that there is a difference, another human coming into the world and this human staying on this world. So I think that that's where the difference is.
I did not have any major complications or challenges, just some discomfort during when I was taking the medication, after the procedure, job required to stand long time or do some physical work. You might not be able to do that when you are taking the medication. It's important that you have an option to take days off or, rest your body.
during my recovery, I needed to take medication to help the swelling in my abdomen. I think that no first-time egg donor is fully prepared for the emotional experience of the process, partially because when you're getting the hormone injections, you are more emotional. It's not, I have my period and I'm emotional, but like whatever, I'm used to it, I'll get through it. It's something that you are injecting yourself every day. You are visiting the hospital or the clinic every single day. It is constantly on your mind. And so I became very, very aware as my follicles were growing that it was strange to be 2 doors down from my recipient, thinking, I'm growing your children. I'm seeing them on an ultrasound right now. And you're gonna take them. And I don't feel that way now. I don't feel that they were taken from me, but in the midst of all of that hormonal stuff, it's very simple and easy to fall into that space of I'm spending a month with these hopeful children and then they're not mine anymore.
It affects you in a lot of ways, and the way that you don't expect to be an issue, maybe.
The actual act of donating takes between a month to a few months, but the long-term implications are lifetime here. You're helping create another human being.
I have no regrets because I went into it wide-eyed. And I went into it with no secrets. I didn't necessarily know all of the details, but what I did know was that this was a decision that I was making that may have long-term effects. I already had 3 children, and my children would have, quote, a sibling out there. There is somebody else with the similar DNA as them.
Once you donate your eggs, that's not the end of the story. If you have pregnancies from those, you will then have living, breathing offspring in the world, and you might not know who they are, where they are, when they exist. So I would say realizing the long-term impact beyond the short-term gain.
Egg donation will impact me for the rest of my life. I'm currently 31 years old. I'm hoping to have kids in a few years. I don't know what it's going to do to my fertility because I just don't know. We're going to find out in a few years. But the mental and emotional implications of egg donation will impact me for the rest of my life. I will never stop walking around wondering if my genetic kid is out there. I will never stop walking around wondering if they know who I am, if they've been told they're donor conceived, if they're wondering who their biological mother is. And I will never be able to not have my heart break a little bit that I can't be there to answer those questions for them, because I wish so, so badly that somebody had been there to answer those questions for me. But I think it is very important that you know that this is not a one-time decision. This is a decision that will affect you every single day for the rest of your life.